So after 3 years, this movie was announced. We have been waiting and waiting. Some, including myself, have been waiting their entire lives to see this happen on the big screen. And now, it is finally here. And now, you gotta make sure you guys contain yourselves, okay? Because after all, it is just a... Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. So Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice is the newest installment in the DC cinematic universe. It is pretty much a sequel to Man of Steel, but it's not because it delves between the stories of both Batman and Superman. And how some people have seen, the film has been getting mixed reactions from critics especially. However, the audience reaction has been really high. People have been saying they love it. However, there has been some people who said they're not a fan of the film. So the film, once again, is like Man of Steel. The film is very polarizing. A lot of people are having mixed reactions. So, I went to this movie, even though I was excited as hell, I didn't give a crap about what the critics were saying. I was like, oh man, this is something I've been waiting for my whole life. I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to sit down. As much as I was excited, I was like, okay, look, gotta calm down and see it from a critical standpoint. And I gotta say, I really liked Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, but I do have issues with the film. Now, before I go into the issues of the film, I will say the positives first. For one, to me, the best part of this whole film is definitely Ben Affleck as the Batman. Ben Affleck is Bruce Wayne / Batman ripped straight out of the comics. I'm saying this right now. He is the best Batman by far. Because look, with Michael Keaton and Christian Bale, they both play great versions of their own Batman. They took some inspirations from the comics and they had their own unique style to the Batman. However, not only is Ben Affleck's Batman different compared to the other Batmans, he is also the truest representation of Batman of how he was in the comics. First off, Bruce Wayne, when I watched Ben Affleck interact with people and the way he was acting, I was like, that's Bruce Wayne from the Bruce Timm animated series of Batman the Animated Series. And when I saw him as Batman, I was like, that is Batman from the Batman Arkham games. He is the true definitive Batman. Henry Cavill's Superman is great in the movie. I never had an issue with him as Superman. I thought he was great in Man of Steel, and I thought he really did a great job in this movie too, because when I look at Henry Cavill, I see, hey, that is Superman. And now we gotta complete the Trinity, right? Let's talk about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. How was she in the movie? I will say this. She stole the whole movie. Ben Affleck was definitely the best part of this whole movie, but to me, Gal Gadot stole the show. When she showed up, holy shit, it was amazing. She really did a great job as Wonder Woman. Now, she didn't have a lot to do in the movie, but I will say this. After you watch this movie, you're going to be 100 times way more excited for the new Wonder Woman movie that's coming out. Because I've been on record, I've said in one of my videos before, and a couple of my videos before, that I said I was not a huge fan of the Gal Gadot casting choice, not because she was skinny. Anybody can get buff, and plus two, she doesn't need to be, jacked up. But my problem is I was worried, how is she gonna act as an actress? How is she gonna act as Wonder Woman? And in this movie, she really surprised the hell out of me, and I will say this. I was wrong. She really did a good job in this movie. Now we gotta talk about Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Now I made a video when Jesse Eisenberg was casted as Lex Luthor. And I said in the video, I was not a fan of the casting. I didn't think he was gonna do a great job because even though he's a good actor, I feel that he plays the same character in every movie. The fast-talking guy. I will say this. Jesse Eisenberg did surprise me. Now was I blown away by his performance? No, there were some things that I did not like that they did with Lex Luthor, but I felt that Jesse Eisenberg surprised me. I thought he did a good job as Lex Luthor. And the story of BVS was really good too. I liked the direction they took. And I gotta tell you, there were so many times when Batman v Superman surprised me. I know there's some people say, oh, man, the trailers revealed everything, they spoiled everything. No. When you watch the movie, there are some things you're like, man, I know how this is gonna play out. And they go in a completely different direction, something that you were not expecting at all. I was like, holy shit, I was not expecting that. Cinematography was really well done. We all know Zack Snyder's always great with his visual content in his movies. The fight choreography was really well done. The Batman versus Superman fights, they were really good. And the Batman fights, my God, this is the Batman that we've been waiting for. He's fast, he's brutal. I love the underlying themes that were throughout the film. I thought some of the scenes, the way they were handled, were really well done. Because there were some scenes in this movie that I was like, oh my God, that was perfectly handled. But those are all the positives. it's time to get some of the negatives, some of the issues that I have with the film. I don't like the way some scenes were handled. Pacing, and the biggest thing for me, the biggest issue is editing. I feel that the film was edited strangely because you have these scenes that are really well done because the acting's great, the story's good. You have all these great scenes, but I feel the way the film was edited, when it comes together, it comes off messy, and the film just doesn't mesh well together, some of the scenes. And I think that's why some scenes come out not so great. Probably some of you have heard. Zack Snyder has this 3-hour ultimate cut of Batman vs. Superman. And then in that 3-hour cut, he was in an interview talking about like how, oh, there's like a lot of more character development, a lot more setup. And I was like, you know what? I think this film was meant to be 3 hours. Because you can tell there's some scenes like, okay, there could have been a scene right here that would develop more of this character, or they would have gone more into this conversation, but it's cut out, and the way it's edited together, it comes off very messy. And I'm betting you right now, that 3-hour cut is the Batman v Superman movie that we wanted to see, like the perfect one that we wanted to see. But you cannot have a 3-hour superhero blockbuster film out in theaters, because if you do that, you're not going to make as much money because the theaters can't play that many show times because it's very long. So I understand why they had to cut it, but also too, that's the biggest issue that I have with it, because there are some scenes that are cut so quickly, that happen too quickly. I'm like, okay, I wish the scene would have gone a little bit longer, but it just went too quick. And there's some scenes that I wish that would have been done quicker. I will not spoil what happens. I will not. But I will say this. I was not a fan of the way how they ended the Batman and Superman fight. I understood it made sense, and I like the way it was executed. Overall, my final thoughts on Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice is that it's probably not the movie that us fanboys wanted it to be, because come on, we've been waiting this movie for our whole lives. So I'm pretty sure it was never, even no matter how good it was never going to meet the expectations that we all wanted. I'm pretty sure about that. But I did enjoy the movie. I really liked it. Ben Affleck is the best Batman we've ever had. Him, Cavill was great. Gal Gadot stole the show as Wonder Woman. Jesse Eisenberg, still not 100% on board, but I did like his portrayal as Lex Luthor. I thought Jeremy Irons was great as Alfred. The action scenes were well done. The Batman fight scenes and the Batman vs. Superman fight scenes were well choreographed. I gotta mention too, the score by Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. Perfection. Loved it. But there are a lot of issues with the film. The biggest one is the editing. Because you have these scenes that are really well done, but because of the editing and the way it's put together on screen, it feels choppy and it feels messy, and it makes the film messy. Some of the pacing issues were because of the editing, and I wish some scenes were handled better, because there are some scenes like, man, if it was handled better, it could have been very powerful and impactful. But it wasn't handled that way. It was just kind of fizzled out. And I wish there was more character interactions with some of the characters. The fanboy side of me wants to give this film an A, because they handled so many things well. They set up the DC cinematic universe so great, and these were the characters I've been wanting to see on this big screen for a long time. But from a critical standpoint, I can see the film does have a lot of issues, and the movie's not perfect. I mean, no movie is perfect, but this one, there are some issues that are withholding it from being that movie that we all wanted it to be. It's not a bad movie, and I'm going to give Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice a solid B. I will say this. This is the film I highly recommend. I will say that. It is the film I highly recommend. You should go out to see this, because it is an event. These are the two most iconic heroes of all time going against each other on the big screen for the first time ever. It is something I do recommend. Now, it's probably going to be mixed, because, again, this is a very polarizing film, like how it was for Man of Steel. So, who knows? But for me, I really enjoyed it. And, hey, I don't care what the critics say. I really enjoyed the film. So, guys, those are my thoughts on Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Would you guys see the film? If you guys liked it, please tell me what were some of the reasons why you liked the film. And if you didn't like it, please explain why you didn't like it. Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch my review. Thank you guys so much. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice day.